Hey YouTube and CAYMANAS Park Turf Fights. Welcome back to Down the Stretch. I'm the host Christopher Charlton. Got a 9-race program for Saturday, the 25th of January. If you guys are interested in the Pegasus World Cup running at Gulfstream Park on this Saturday as well, you can go and check out my previous video. Okay, back to the local racing. We have 9 races on the card. It was originally 10, but they have scratched the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Cup. Maybe someone was scratched, but I was really interested to see that race because Hedge Fund was supposed to meet up with older horses for the first time, Magnificent Force and Fearless Force, but they've abandoned that race. So the program is down to 9 races. So let's get into it. The first race, 5-year-olds and up, claiming 200,000, and native bred 6-year-olds and up maidens, a field of 9 going 5.5 furlongs, and I'm boiling this race down to 4. They are the 1 Print Quality, the 4 Mr. Lyndhurst, the 5 Storm Valley, and the 9 ZI. Print Quality comes in here with top weight 126 pounds, but will claim 4 kilos from the very flat riding Eric Horton. So I think he's down to 118 pounds. Fourth by 17 lengths and last, but he was beaten by basically 2 very outer class horses, Muscatoon and Baton Rouge, at 250. This is basically stepping down in class. He was only maybe a length and a half off of K-Boy in that race after being slowly into stride and swerving at the start. He kind of reared and then swerved. So coming back here down in class, expecting capital run from Print Quality. The 4, Mr. Lyndhurst. One thing for sure, Mr. Lyndhurst is going to make sure that they're kept honest, because once fit, he's going to come right out and go right for that lead. They've now put on the tongue tie on him. So Matthew Bennick for Lawrence Fremantle, he's going to ensure that the pace is kept honest. The 5, Storm Valley, on a hat-trick of wins. His last 2 races have been very impressive. He's still at this level, basically. Tevin Foster has the ride once again, but he's going to have to put every foot right this time around with Mr. Lyndhurst in the race to get the job done. And the 9, ZI, second and last to Storm Valley, was off the fractions. He's lacking speed. He doesn't really have much speed and sometimes breaks very slow. 126 but claims 4 kilos for TJ Suku. So I'm excited a stronger pace this time around, and that should help ZI in the stretch. Looks very fit. He's busy at exercise. Even worked 3 furlongs in 38 recently. So those are the 4 I boiled it down to. If I had to pick a horse to buy in the race, I think I'm going to go with class, and I think Print Quality is the class. He's gotten those runs under his belt recently, so I think he's much more focused for a race like this, and I'm definitely going to lean towards Print Quality to get the job done. Any one of the other horses I think can get the second. Outside a possibility that I'll probably put ZI to run the second, but Storm Valley very fit, Mr. Lyndhurst very fast, so can go either way, but going with Print Quality. The second race, nature bred 5-year-olds and up numbers of 3, and imported 5-year-olds and up numbers of 2, small field of 5, 8 furlongs of distance. I'm only going to boil this down to 2 horses. They are the 2 Sky Rizzy and the 5 Tiger Amidat. Sky Rizzy, TJ Suku, claiming 4 kilos for Donovan Plummer. Tongue tie is now on. Figure 8 is off. They put on the figure 8 and last where he was beaten, so they have now gone back to his regular equipment. Should show some speed here. Broke slow and last. Still managed to finish 3rd to outer class final load. Tiger Me that was 10 3/4 lengths in front of Sky Rizzy on that day, but Sky Rizzy did have an excuse, was very slowly into stride, never get to go anywhere near the lead. So expecting a much better run now from Sky Rizzy. And the horse Sky Rizzy has the beat. That is Tiger Amidat, Shane Ellis now for Anthony Nunes. Shane Ellis again for Anthony Nunes, I should say. Still coming in here at the basically same with 121 pounds. Start final load from in the stretch and was gaining on final load in the final furlong, only lost by half a length. So going the extra furlong here against a much tamer feel with only one horse I think he has to worry about is the pace horse Sky Rizzy. But I think Tiger Medat and Shane Ellis should get the job done. The third race, native bred 4 years and up, maiden, fillies and mares, field of 7, going 5 furlongs straight. This race again, I think this is a one horse race, to be honest. Could be wrong. These are the kind of race that really turn upside down, but I'm just going with the 6, Lady Sarasuta, O'Shane Nugent for Fitzgerald Richards. Definitely going to prefer the straight course. Last time over the straight, outclassed by Radam in that event. But when she goes back around the bend, she's always blowing the turn. So I don't think they've fixed that problem with her yet, her running off the track. But over the straight, you don't have to worry about that much with her. She runs her better races over the straight course. As you can see, her first run over the straight back in October, she was third by a head. Then over the fourth straight on November 30th, lost by a length and a half to Dream to Reality. Had Tornado still behind her, and in her last start over the straight, December 14th, was second by 4 lengths to Radam with Military Light behind her. And right after that, when they went around a bend, Military Light got the better of her. So definitely a firm fancy here for me is Lady Sarasuta. If I was going to buy exacta in the race, I would probably use the 7, Undeclared War. Yeah, I'd probably put him into the race. You know, runs most of his races over the straight. Kind of like the run behind Shelly the Rocket race. You know, was in the pace for some of the ways. So he does have some speed. So I'd use Undeclared War to complete the exacta. The fourth race, native bred 4-year-olds and up, non of 2, and imported 4-year-olds up, maiden, 7 starters, and they go 7 furlongs. I've boiled this race down to 3. They are the 2, Lucy in the Sky, the 3, the General, and the 6, Shooting Star. Okay, Lucy in the Sky got involved in a speed duel with Titan Temper going 9 furlongs and 25 yards. And for this level, for seeing horses going 49, 114 for 9 furlongs and 25 yards, that's going pretty fast. So she did herself no favor by trying to go with the much speedier Titan Temper. And she paid the price in the stretch. As you can see, she was beaten 21 lengths into 5th, with the General finishing probably 8 lengths in front of her, even though the previous race at a mile, she was a length and a quarter in front of the General. So back here now, not going 2 turns. So I think they can more judge the pace of how fast they're going, because they're going to come out the chute. So I'm expecting a better run here from Lucy in the Sky with a more experienced Robert Halliday now in the saddle. The General, as usual, will be coming with his late run. Now gets Radish Roman in the saddle for Gary Sobrati. Will run his general good race. He's going to sit off the pace and then try to come with a late run, unless they decide to try to go early, which I don't think is going to be a wise idea, going too early in this event. But just run him his regular way, hold him up, and then try to come with a run. And the horse I think they're going all have to beat is the 6, Shooting Star. Trevor Simpson also now gets the ride from Tevin Foster for Paul Swaby, stretching out to a mile, but he does so as a horse that I think he's a more pacier horse than this bunch. This very well bred son of Tapicha out of Diffuse Nebula, who's out of Candy Ride. So very, very well bred Shooting Star. Has lived up to early expectations, but has run some good races in defeat. He was 3rd by 4 lengths to She's That Girl and Magnificent Force. Came back at 7 furlongs. Was very early in the pace, battled with J Speed and company before being outsped in the stretch by Blue Sensation, who was going into the classics at that time, and his last start off of a very long rest, because that was July, and then came back in January and ran a very brave race to finish only 3 lengths third to Speedy Smart Trick and Titan Tempo. So after that run, coming off the break, working well, looks very fit, looks very sound. I think this Shooting Star is going to take a lot of catching. I think he goes to the front and makes all the running. So I give Shooting Star my key horse in this event. I think Shooting Star should win this. Lucy in the Sky for 2nd, the General 3rd, depending how they decide to run. If she decides to hook up with him in the early stages, well, you're going to get the General finishing strong. So I think those are the 3 horses that will fight it out. the 5th race, native bred 5-year-olds and up, non-loser 2, and imported 5-year-olds and up maiden. 11 starters, and this is 4 furlongs straight. And I'm just going with one horse here, a key horse, the one Electrode. I'm going with Electrode because this is a very weak field. He hasn't run since the 29th of April 2023, but he's coming in here, in my opinion, as a much better horse than these, although he definitely had problems. But he's back at the track, he's cantering, he's trotting. I haven't seen any gallop work, but definitely potentially I think he's a better horse than these. He's the half brother to Patriarch, and remember Patriarch, which was probably one of the fastest horses in the last few years that has raced at CAYMANAS Park. His first win was in April 2023, 5 furlongs straight, won by 6 3/4 lengths over Blinking Light and Answer My Prayers. Came back in April in a trophy event at 6 furlongs, was beaten 6 lengths by the Derby winner, Ability, and he had acknowledged me 6 lengths behind, finished lame in that race. So I think that's where the problem started. More than likely he had some leg problem. Nunes gave him over to Nunes. Still, I think, still owns him, but has him over Lawrence Fremantle now. So you know Lawrence Fremantle knows how to deal with horses that has issues. Shane Richardson claiming 2 kilos gets the ride here, so he's coming in pretty light, and I think he should bounce right back into winning ways. If I was going to carry some horses for the exotic in this race, I'd probably use the 4 Charming Sound, the 7 Glittering Star, and the 9 Xylophonic Steel. The 6th race, 3-year-olds and up, claiming 1,000,000 to 800,000, 12 starters, 5 furlongs straight the distance. I'm going to boil this race down to 4. They are the 2 Rejected Raja, the 6 KP Choice, the 9 Power Ranking, and the 12 Posing Already. Okay, Rejected Raja, Shane Ellis for Edward Stanberry, beaten 6 by 11 lengths and last to Sonny T and Chippy at 7 furlongs. Before that was 4th by 2.5 lengths to Milos. So 2 very good horses there. And I think that was going a little over his limit, 7 furlongs. His last win was at 5 furlongs round when beating KB Choice by 6 3/4 lengths and Power Ranking by 9 lengths. Back over the straight now, where I think he's very comfortable. His last run over the straight was beaten 3rd by 2 lengths to General and Volatility, after being slowed into stride and running on very strong. So I think he's very comfortable over the straight. So even though drawn to the inside, I don't think Shane Ellis is going to come out and dart him all the way to the stands. I think he's just going to go to a little firmer ground, maybe mid-track, and I think Rejected Raja runs a big one here. The 6 KP Choice, definitely comfortable at this level. Loves the straight. Last run over the straight was a win over Power Ranking and Jaguar, right in the pace there. Comes in a little heavier than that time, but his last run at 5.5 was a very good 3rd to Outer Class Sensational Move. So Robert Halladine now has the ride back to his happy hunting grounds over the straight course. KP Choice should be fighting in this, although having some speed to contend with in the early stages with the likes of Jaguar in this event. But I think KP Choice does have the class of this race to put in a very capable effort once again. The 9 Power Ranking finally came good and got a long-deserved win at a million claimer at 6 furlongs when making all the running. And we know he's not a front-running horse, but he dominated the fractions there with a much easier bunch then than this bunch. But is comfortable over the straight. He was a second by a short to KB Choice in that same race I talked about, with Jaguar behind after breaking slow. Should be comfortable once again here. Richie Shakes claiming 4 kilos for Lawrence Fremantle. And Richie Shakes is riding very well, this young apprentice. I'm expecting Power Ranking to show his fitness and run another positive race. And the 12 Posing Already, who I think is the horse they might have to beat. Laris Allen has been riding well over the straight recently. Posing Already, his last start was 5th by 9.5 lengths to Sensational Move. That same race with KP Choice. But the thing about that race, he was going around the bend, and he's not a horse that tends to want to go around the bend. He's more of a 5 straight runner. And in that race, he was the one carrying the fight to Sensational Move, who was a way out of class horse. So, minor Sensational Move now coming back over the straight. I think very fit and drawn perfectly on the stand side. I think Posing already is the horse they're going all have to beat. And I don't really want to stick my neck out and pick one of them, but I think the race comes down to one of those four. For an outsider to squeeze into the superfecta or the high five, that a lot of people might leave because it's a 99 to 1 morning line, but I think with experience back in 2023, this Rambling Rose, a very well-bred horse, trained here now by David Lee Sin. Aaron Satcher gets the ride. Had a few starts last season. Definitely has her problems, but is at the exercise track, cantering and trotting. So I think she's sound. Last run was beaten 30 lengths, so I'm going to throw that out. And I think a much better run is expected here now coming down to the claiming ranks. So it wouldn't surprise me if Rambling Rose squeezes herself into the exotics. The seventh race, the feature event, named in honor of the late Iron Lady of Racing, Eileen Eliggott. This is the Eileen Eliggott Memorial Trophy, 3-year-old and up, grade 1 stakes race, small field of 5, going 6.5 furlongs. The ball is down to just 3 horses. The 1, Wall Street Trader, the 3, Pack Plays, and the 5, Is That a Fact? I know I'm going to get murdered in the comments for leaving Atomica, but I'll explain at the end of this review. Okay, Wall Street Trader. 3 a clinker in the Mute Mile, finished 12 by 14 lengths, but just before that was beaten only 3.5 lengths by the top filly in the country, Desert of Malibu, closing from well off the pace at 6 furlongs. So very comfortable here, has worked brilliantly coming to the race. On the 12th of January, worked 3 furlongs in 34.3 breezing. Last work coming to this on the 19th of January, 5.5 furlongs in 106 flat by 1 minute flat. Trained by Rowan Matty, Shane Richardson claiming 2 kilos. So coming in pretty light and expecting a big run from this Wall Street Trader if the pace comes back. The 3, Pack Plays. Pack Plays now. Ismael Velasquez gets the ride for Rowan Matty Jr. I really love Pack Plays to win it. I carried Pack Plays on key selection and last in the Chris Harman Memorial Trophy at 5.5 furlongs. And shockingly to me, T. Foster didn't attempt to go with the leader. He held up Pack Play, dropped him back to 4th, and he was running on in the final furlong to only beaten 2 1/4 lengths 3rd to Bootylicious in a race where they allowed Bootylicious with the lightweight to just get to that front and just steal it. So that was an indifferent ride to me, and of course Pack Plays knows how to run one way. Just put him in front and catch me if you can. And he wasn't too heavy for you to go and challenge Bootylicious. So that was really a really question sign for me why they did that. Maybe they're just testing something out. But this time around with Ismael Velasquez in the saddle, a jockey who's very dangerous with a front runner, I think he's just going to put Pack Play out there. And if Pack Play gets that lead comfortably, I don't see how they're going to catch him. And Is That a Fact? Who I think is the genuine A1 horse in this race. Throughout the last run, the Mute Mile, had a ton of traffic problems, had nowhere to go, blocked in behind horses, and never put in a punch. Just before that was 3rd by 3.5 lengths to the big Desert of Malibu, and Wall Street Trader was only a short head behind Wall Street Trader in that race, coming back here at 6.5. Recently he ran in the Gold Cup and was only beaten 3/4 lengths by Mute Mile with a fun can so definitely Is That a Fact is a class horse. His last win was at 6 furlongs. Not beaten much there, Madeline Sunshine and Sensational Move, but was dominant to 1 by 5 lengths. So definitely Is That a Fact. Coming in here working brilliantly. 12th of January worked 105 and 2 by 59 and 3 5.5. Last work on the 22nd of January was 106.4 by 1 minute and 3/5. So tune to the minute, and Is That a Fact will be charging down the stretch if the pace setters fold. Okay, now for you guys that are going to murder me in the comments, the only reason I don't care Atomica, right, is because Atomica is now 6, and I thought Atomica would be going to the breeding shed, but I guess she's still working well, so they think she have a few more shots to fire. But 6.5 furlongs, and Atomica, we know she's a front-running horse. She prefers going 2 turns. She likes 2 turns where she can go to relax, get that easy pace early, and relax, and then eyeball you and then fight you. This is 6.5, so it's up the backstretch from the gates open. I don't know if she have that speed to go with Pack Plays early. I don't know if she have it. Maybe Money Market is in the race to try and do that, and I don't think Money Market has the pace to do that either. So it's a tall order for me to see Atomica get into the lead here. and fighting them off to win. Because if she does get to the lead, I think Is That a Fact wins the race. But I can't see her getting to the lead, and I can't see her running on. So that's my reason for not carrying Atomica. I could be wrong, and she could turn up and just blow them away. And then I will get the wrath of you guys in the comments. Okay, but I'm sticking firm. Pack play to get the better of Is That a Fact and Wall Street Trader. The 8th race. Native bred and imported 3-year-old maiden special weight. Field of 7, going 5 furlongs straight. And boiling this race down to 3. The 4 Nephew, the 6 Unruly Mo, and the 7 Fearless Mission. Okay, number 4 Nephew. Trevor Simpson once again has a ride for Owen Sharp. Beaten out of sight in both starts, but both of those starts were won by 2 very useful and impressive horses, Ride All Day and the Supernatural Power. He was just behind, maybe 4 lengths, 4.5 behind Gurvana, who's also a very useful horse in his last start. So now over the straight course, might enjoy the going over the straight course. You know, you're going to have to gallop right as the gates open, so might enjoy it. The 6, the horse I think they're going all have to beat, Unruly Mo, Shane Ellis on another live ride here for Oral Hayden. They've changed the equipment now. They've taken off the blinkers and they have taken off the figure 8 and have put on cheek pieces. So maybe this might help Unruly Mo. But his last 2 starts were beaten by 2 very top class horses, Ride All Day and Unspun. The last one, he was only 6 3/4 lengths behind Unspun and Ride All Day in a race that he hooked up with the very speedy Ride All Day. So now coming over the 5 straight, I don't see any kind of pace like that in this race. And I think the 5 straight is a perfect race for this Unruly Mo. Still working well coming into this race, not flying at exercise like he was doing on his debut when he went 112 for 6 furlong. Now they're taking it a little easier with him. Recently he went 5 furlongs in 101.2, his first 4 and 47.1, beating Simply Enchanting, who has already won a race. So that's a good sign for this Unruly Mo. I think Unruly Mo is the horse they're definitely going to have to beat. And the 7 Fearless Mission, Matthew Bennett for Oral Hayden horse here. They have now taken off the visor. They put it on and last. Finished 3rd to Fred the Great. A very good run there. Gurvana was 2nd in that race, and Fearless Mission ran a very good 3rd, although beating out of sight, but it was 2 very outer class horses. Comes here now at 5 furlongs straight. Does have some early pace and doesn't have the likes of Fred the Great or Supernatural Power, Ride All Day. So should be very prominent in the early stages and should again run a good race. So I'm boiling this down to Unruly Mo to get the job done over Fearless Mission and Nephew. The 9th and final, 3-year-olds and up, optional claiming, 500 to 400,000. 6-year-olds and up, non-reserve 4, and imported 6-year-olds and up, non-reserve 2. Big field of 16, 6 furlongs. This is a very competitive race. I'm going to boil this race down to 4. They are the 5 Unruly Dude, the 8 Big Jewel, the 9 Take a Punt, and the 13 Sniper Man. Okay, Unruly Dude, 2nd and last by 3 3/4 lengths to Wilson, going 5.5 furlongs. So that was a very good run. Only has an extra half a furlong to travel here. They've removed the figure 8, and he's run his last 10 starts in the figure 8, but he does have 2 wins without the figure 8, so I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. Radish Roman has ride for Marvin Campbell. Has some pace, so can definitely sit close to the leaders, and definitely is fit. So expecting a good run from this Unruly Dude. The 8, Big Jewel, Paul Francis for Ryan Darby. Came off a very long rest and last. Stepped down to 550 claimer. Hit the at the top of the stretch, got the lead, but was out finished. But that's expected coming off of a long rest, and definitely has his issues. He definitely had leg issues. But one thing to note in this race, Big Jewel finally changed his lead leg. Took him a little while, but just before the furlong pole, he changed it, and I'll show you right here. See, she changed her lead. He changed his lead leg, but just got a little tired in the final part of the race. Stepping down in class now, because this 500 is basically a 400,000 claimer, so it's basically stepping down in class here. Francis has the ride once again. 6.5 going to suit him perfectly. Definitely, I think Big Jude is the horse they're going all have to beat. The 9, Take a Punt. First start since that controversial race back in October. Also, I think taking a slight step down in class here. Samantha Fletcher still has the ride, not claiming 2 kilos anymore. For Ricardo Brown here, 6.5 not going to be a problem for Take a Punt. Definitely has turned out to be a pace horse, and should definitely go out there early and give a good account once again. Definitely want to fight it out. Is this Take a Punt? And the 13, Sniperman, Tevin Foster for Howard Bailey. Stretching out to 6.5, but I think being a horse that coming out of mostly 5 straight races, definitely can go around the bend. 6.5 if rated and waiting in case the pace falls. This Sniperman should run a very good race. So a boiling race don't lose 4. The 5, Unruly Dude. The 8, Big Jewel, the horse I think they have to beat. The 9, Take a Punt, and the 13, Sniperman. All right, guys. We have racing on Sunday the 26th. So it's back-to-back race meets. So I wish you guys all the luck. And as usual, be safe.